Oh, almost fell. I gotta do this standing up. I can't do it sitting down. I can't do it. Hey, what's up guys? It's Thursday. It's time for my new video. This one's gonna be about home defense. It's a little rainy outside. There's not really much to do today. So I figured I'd go over a topic like this because my last one, the EDC, why I EDC video, did super good in my opinion. In my opinion, it did. I got a lot of positive feedback on it, so I figured I would do this because this is something else that I hold very important. But before I get into that, I want to talk about my first experience with an internet troll that was on my EDC video. It's the first time I've ever had one, and so he commented underneath my video, and it ended up being like 30 comments underneath that. Well, then he ended up deleting his comment, which deleted all of them. So now there's like one comment, and it's mine on the video. So, I'm gonna make this one and see how it does right after the intro.
So tell me who got fire, who got all the drain, who been doing numbers consistently every day, who been on the grind, who been on the mission, who been doing this since the day he told me to get it. I'm as real as it gets. I pull up in that, sweat. You won't ever catch me ducking man's word. I'm as real as it gets. I ain't never been a bitch a day in my life. I'll never fall boy, so they know I'm as real as it gets.
Alright, so before I get into the home defense thing, I want to thank everybody subscribe to my channel. You guys rock. I'm over 180 now, like 181. Didn't really get many people on board after the last video, the little quick video about my kayak, but hey, it is what it is. You guys go hard. I really appreciate it. It's cool seeing the growth every time I put out a new video. The last one didn't do so hot, but you know, I'm up over 180 subscribers, which a month and a half ago I was like at 50. So definitely making moves in a positive direction, and I really appreciate that. So without further ado, we'll get into the meat and taters of the video, boys. A little disclosure before I get into it. One, I'm not a professional. Two, I live in Florida, so my state laws may vary compared to your state laws. If you live in California or New Jersey, or New York, I'm just sorry. Okay, moving on. So when thinking about home defense, you got to think about some scenarios that you may encounter in your house, you know. Burglaries, which most of the time when somebody's burglarizing your house, they do it when you're not home and they don't expect you to be home. You may be home when it happens, so that's kind of what we're talking about here. And then there's the home invasion, which is when somebody breaks into your house and expecting you to be home. You know, I don't know what they want to do. They want to kidnap you, take you to the ATM, do whatever, take you to the bank, get you to empty out your accounts, whatever. Burglaries, which they don't expect you to be home. Home invasions, where they do expect you to be home. Those are both two things you definitely want to be ready for just in case it happens. More than likely it won't, but in the event it does, here's some things to consider. The number one thing to me is, what is your living situation, you know? Do you have kids at home? Do you have family in your house? Do you have roommates? Or are you by yourself? Is there no one else in the house? Just you, maybe your dog. Moving on to the next point is, where are your firearms located? Where are they at? Can you get to them quick? Can you get to them when you wake up and you're kind of disoriented? Do you still know where your gun is? Do you have more than one gun? Where are they at within the house? What if you're not in your bedroom? Most people keep the gun in the bedroom. What if you're not in your bedroom whenever the situation breaks out? There's some things to think about. So before I get into my home defense firearm selection, probably the first thing you want to do in this situation before you even grab your gun, if you can, and I got this idea for somebody else, but call 911, put it on speaker and set it down. You do that, then the responders will be on the way and you'll have kind of a documentation, audio documentation of what the hell is going on. So when selecting your firearm for your house, or firearms, you gotta think about those situations we mentioned earlier. Who's gonna be in your house? You know, me, I have my daughter and my grandmother here, so you gotta think about, can one of them operate the firearm if need be? I know everybody says 12 gauge, shotgun, you just point and shoot and you're gonna hit whatever. Well, yeah, but can someone like my grandmother grab a shotgun and fire that thing with the recoil And if she does, where are the pellets gonna go? Or slug, whatever you have in there. You gotta keep in mind that those things have a lot of projectiles coming out of them. If you're using double-aught buckshot or even birdshot, those things will go through a wall. And they will go through a person, through a wall, and onto the next person behind the wall. And say if I'm in my house and somebody breaks in, and you know I gotta put them down, right? Well, what if they're in front of my daughter's door and I shoot? It's gonna go through him, through the door, and possibly into my daughter, and that is a worst case scenario, and I don't want that. Another thing to think about if you consider a shotgun is what happens if the person is standing next to the loved one. If they're close to that person, when you fire, you're probably gonna hit him and her, or both of them, him and him, whatever it is. So you definitely want to think about that if you're considering a shotgun. When considering a long gun, we're safe. Can you see? Can't see. Too much light. But we're safe. People think these are good options, and they are. But what you got to think about, just like I said before, is that backdrop. Because if somebody comes in your house, this round's gonna go through the wall. Definitely, it's gonna go through him and through the wall for sure. I've seen videos where guys were using like varmint rounds, and those are a good option. Now I can't really argue with that. Those are a good option. But if you're using your regular 5.56, your standard stuff, then you really run a risk of collateral damage when you fire one of these things off in the house. Besides that, it's super freaking loud. So whatever's going on in the house is going to make the stressful situation even more stressful with that crazy boom that comes out of this thing. One of the disadvantages to this is what happens if you've got to use one of your hands to do something. Let's say push your kids out of the way or whatever. Well, yeah, a lot of people have, you can put a sling on here and that will help for using it one-handed, but man, that's just, mine's long as hell. It's a long gun. It's a lot to operate. So when you're thinking about this, you got to think about maneuverability. You know, I can move this thing around pretty well in my house, but like I said, you want to think about those people in your house that probably aren't as proficient. Can they grab this thing and do what they need to do to defend themselves? It's pretty easy to get this thing on target. You know, you got a lot of links between the sights, and you got your optic on here, so you can pretty well hit a target very easily with this, if you can get it out and get it where it needs to be. In my opinion, this is the best home defense. 9mm. This is a Glock 19X. However, I have a bunch of varieties of 9mm, and there's a bunch on the market. These are simple. It's small. You can, if you got to maneuver with one hand, push somebody off, move your kids out of the way, hit fire it, whatever, you got it. It's right here. Boom, bam. Easy. You got, I always, on all of my pistols, have a light. This thing can be crucial because it's a one-hand operation. Boom, bam. You can acquire your target, see what the hell's going on, because more than likely, if they're breaking into your house, it's going to be at nighttime and it's going to be dark. So you want to see what you're shooting at. And these things having a light on them definitely makes it just second nature. You don't even got to think about it. It's right there. Boom. When you need it. And as I said before, I use hollow points unless I'm just going and doing target shooting because of the backdrop situation. You don't want that damn round going through the person, through the wall, and into your family. It's not going to be a good day. And you're gonna feel like shit. They could possibly die or get really seriously hurt, and you don't want that on your plate. So in my opinion, this is a no-brainer. Everyone knows how to use one of these within reason. Grab it. If you got one in the pipe, which I always do when I'm keeping them at the house, grab, point, shoot, boom. Now, all of that is fine and dandy. All of these firearms will work. Your shotgun, your AR, everything will work. But nothing will work if you don't have the training needed to operate these things. You definitely need to take time to familiarize yourself at the very least with your firearm. at least just go to the ranges sometimes and learn the operation of it. Get used to the recoil, get used to the way it cycles. Just familiarize yourself with the thing that you are going to be using to protect your family with. Because at the end of the day, if you can't operate it, then it ain't gonna do you no good, right? So get a little bit of training on whatever firearm you decide, and protect your family. Keep your house safe. Keep your family members safe. With that said, that is all I have for home defense. I feel like I babbled quite a bit. So my next video, my next firearm video, if you're interested, will be a gym EDC video on how I carry if I'm going to the gym or something like that. If you want to see a video like that, definitely comment that in the comments and let me know. If not, then I won't waste time making it. Today's Thursday. Saturday, I get to take the kayak out for the first time for the maiden voyage. The weather's supposed to be nice, and I'm definitely going to record that endeavor and gonna start pumping out some kayak videos because the weather's coming up and it's getting nice, and it's what I love to do. Love to fish, love to kayak. So those things will be popping off, dog. Is that it? Did I have anything else to say? I really don't remember. I think that's it. Yep, I think that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was a little bit of rambling and bambling, but that's my take on home defense. Let me know what you think. Until next time, deuces!